Sarah lived in an old farmhouse, nestled deep among whispering pines, a good 10 miles from the nearest town. She liked the quiet, the isolation, the feeling of being cut off from the world. But that quiet started to feel different after she found the doll. It was a small wooden thing, painted with chipped eyes and a faded dress, sitting right on her porch step as if someone had carefully placed it there. Sarah didn't have kids. No one visited with kids. She tossed it in the bin, shrugging it off as some lost toy. But a few days later, the quiet changed again. Sarah was looking out her kitchen window, washing dishes, when she saw it. Not right up close, but way back, where the woods started to get really thick. A small figure, barely visible through the darkening trees. A child, just standing there, perfectly still, staring at her house. Not moving, not playing, just watching. The moment Sarah blinked, it was gone. It started happening more often after that. Sometimes at twilight, sometimes just before dawn. The child would be there, a little closer each time. Once, Sarah saw it peeking from behind the old oak at the edge of her yard, its face pale in the dim light, before it darted back into the shadows. She tried to tell herself it was just some local kid, lost or playing a trick, but a cold dread was starting to settle in her stomach. What kind of parent let their child wander this far out, in the dark? The noises started too. Rustling in the underbrush, quiet footsteps on dry leaves just beyond her property line. Not animal sounds. These were slower, more deliberate. She'd turn off all her lights, stand in the dark, straining to hear, convinced someone was out there just beyond the light from her porch. One night, she swore she heard a faint, high-pitched giggle carried on the wind, like a child's, but hollow and far away. Then came the night. It all went wrong. Sarah was in her living room reading when a soft tap-tap-tap echoed from the window beside her armchair. She froze. Slowly, she turned her head. There, pressed against the glass, was the child's face. Its eyes were wide, unblinking, its breath fogging the pain. And its mouth. It was forming words, silent words Sarah could almost read. "Help me." Sarah's heart pounded. She knew she shouldn't open the door, knew it was a trick. But the child's eyes, those pleading, silent words, her hand reached for the lock. Just then, two taller, darker silhouettes separated from the deep shadows of the tree line. They moved slowly, deliberately, emerging into the dim light. One of them pointed a long, gloved finger directly at Sarah's window, then at the child. The child turned, its pleading expression instantly replaced by a blank, cold stare. Then it slowly began to back away, disappearing between the two looming figures. Sarah screamed. She didn't know what else to do. She fumbled for her phone, called the police, barely able to speak through her terror. They came, of course, sirens cutting through the night. They searched the woods, walked around her house, but found nothing. No footprints, no trace of the child or the men, just the wind rustling the pines. They told her it was probably kids playing a cruel prank, or maybe she'd imagined it. But Sarah knew better. Sarah sold the farmhouse within the month. She couldn't bear to stay, couldn't shake the feeling of those silent, watching eyes in the dark. She never saw the child or the shadowy figures again, but sometimes, when the wind howls just right, she swears she can still hear that hollow, faraway giggle, and wonders if they ever left the woods, or if they're just waiting for the next one to move into that quiet, isolated house.